Hi, I'm Mort Cooper, your host on Change Your Voice, Change Your Life. Secret Stutterers. Do you know what that means? Have you ever heard the expression? Secret Stutterers? We know about stutterers. We know about people who curl their lips and twist their faces and distort their minds and bodies to get sound out. We live in a sound society, and if you don't have the ability to speak audibly, intelligibly, where are you? If you stutter, what will people say? Will you be able to face them? And the answer, obviously, is not well. People expect you to be fluent, to speak at ease, say what you have in your mind, and not... Why do people stutter? And why do people believe they are secret stutterers when they don't stutter? Join with me. We live in a society that says, be fast, be quick, be nimble, of voice and speech. With speech, we believe that when we say the word, it should be said very, very correctly. We don't like bobbles. What is a bobble? A bobble is hesitation, repetition, prolongation, ah and oh. Did you know that stutterers believe that speech is perfect? Did you know that? If you ask a person who stutters what is normal speech, they will tell you it's perfect speech. Believe it or not, it's fluid, it's fluent. There are no pauses, hesitations, no bobbles, no ahs and ohs. It's just perfect. May I ask you this? Do you know anybody who's a perfect speaker? I don't. I was the director of the Adult Stutterers group at Stanford University, and before then and after, I've never met anybody who's a perfect speaker. I don't believe there is a perfect speaker in the world. Maybe a robot, but a robot doesn't have a very meaningful sound. Not yet. Maybe aliens from outer space will come down and sound like us. We don't sound too good in voice. We have nasal, thin, kid-like voices. We have guttural, raspy voices. We're not taken with voices per se, although we believe it represents us and often misrepresents us. But in speech, we believe, the stutterers believe, and I'm going to ask you what you believe, is normal speech perfect? Stutterers, from my experience over the years, almost to a person believe that that's true. That's impossible. You can't be perfect in speech. You may have good speech, fluent, it just flows for a period of time. But you become what is called disfluent. You become disoriented. You become concerned about what you have in mind, and your voice and your speech hesitates like that. And maybe you repeat yourself. That's normal. Those are what I call bobbles. I call it the bobbling of America. We all bobble sometime during the day. Some of us become too concerned, too focused on the bobble, and we can become stutterers. Can we really become stutterers by focusing in on our speech? Well, that's how it begins, I find. Stuttering begins between the age of 3 and 7. I believe most people would agree on that. The experts would agree on it. And why is that? Is it because of neurological deficiency, mental imbalance? Is it chemistry? No. My experience is that between those ages, kids are trying to balance their speech act. And parents may say, talk up, talk faster, talk this way, talk that way. And some kids can't take it, and so their speech breaks down. Some can't handle articulation before their time. Parents may have a desire to have the child talk better at a given period of time, and the child can't. Pressure, anxiety, psychological, emotional. Is it neurological? No, I don't believe it's neurological. But when it happens, what the child has to do is not take it seriously, but the child doesn't know that. And so the child is out of directed and influenced by what is happening around him or her. And males basically respond 5 to 1 to become stutterers rather than girls. Why? Because the motor skills are not developed too early. It takes time to do it. The girls have better motor skills earlier, better speech abilities. And we look to making kids have perfect speech, better speech, and they can't do it. That's my take on stuttering. And I found that to be true case after case all too often. Join with me on the secret stutterer. While I was the director of the Adult Stutterers group at Stanford University, we had a young speech pathologist, a young lady who was working on the staff there, as I was. And I had her in a group of stutterers, severe stutterers. We had a group of 40 or 50 people in there, and we met twice a week for about 3 hours each time. And I would ask those who were attending to see what I'm doing to join with me, and one time I mentioned her bobbling, and she was repeating and hesitating and prolongating sounds, and she broke down, literally broke down, and said that she's a stutterer. She always felt that she was a stutterer, and she was what I call the secret stutterer. That's where I got the concept from. There are many people like that, I find, who believe they're secret stutterers. They believe that they're hidden from the public, but internally they believe they are secret stutterers, and they don't want people to know that they're stuttering, so they don't speak that much. Isn't that interesting? I don't find them to be stutterers at all. There's a huge number of people that dwarf the number of actual stutterers. Stuttering in the country may be 1 to 2% of the population. If there are 280 people, so it's maybe 5 or 6 million people stuttering, actually stuttering, with the eyes turned down, or the face distorted, or the mind thinking before it speaks to say the word, how to say the word, fearing sounds. Those are really stutterers. And the problem is that if you are a real stutterer, you do have a problem in communicating. And that usually starts between the ages of 3 and 7. But let's move on from there and come back to the real stutterers and talk about secret stutterers. Secret stutterers, I believe, are everywhere about us. They're not aliens from outer space. These are real demons that we hide within ourselves. Join with me. The demons that we believe that when we talk and repeat, when we repeat like that, or hesitate, or prolongate, maybe, we believe those bobbles are a sign of stuttering. Let me reassure you, it's not stuttering. Stuttering is when you motorboat the sound, when you machine gun the sound. My. When I say my name, that's bobbling. That's normal hesitation and repetition. When I do that, that's a normal pause, a vocal pause. That's very normal. Many of us do that. We also have runners. We begin our speech by saying, well. We begin our speech by saying, you know, or I mean, or you know what I mean, or I mean and you know. We use a lot of runners. Those are called runners. We use look. We look. We say listen. Those are very normal runners. Many of us use that. We're not stutterers. But secret stutterers believe they may be using that to cover themselves and their deficiency in speech. Not so. It's very normal to do so. The difference between a normal speech pattern and an abnormal one is this. The abnormal one curls the lips and the tongue and gets the person to think of the sounds well in advance of saying the sound. So in their mind's eye, they have a teleprompter thinking of sounds they fear they can't say.